Not a single game played this season so far by Rogue, and yet already major questions being asked of them following a terrible midweek match earlier on against Ghost. Carpet, you were there for that.
I was.
For those people that weren't able to watch, bring people up to date a little bit.
So, as far as Rogue's concerned, it's a single phrase, and that phrase is double commit.
Okay.
We saw a lot of double commits on defense, on offense. The ones that I recognize, the offenders, tend to be Jacob and Sizz, but I'm sure it could have been a plethora of reasons of why they had to make those double commits or why they felt that their other teammate wasn't going for it. If they do not fix that, it will be another 3-0 sweep. If they can fix it at all, there's a good chance it can get closer. Now, double commits are generally not very difficult to fix. Someone just goes, "I've got it," and the other person goes, "Okay."
But this is a very fast game, though. So a lot of times you say the words, "I got," and you're already gone. You've already done it.
Yeah.
But it is a big problem. It is a big problem that is going to need to be sorted out throughout this series and moving forward, because they're going to be taking on a very angry Ghost team, popping in after a 0-2 last week. Probably an undeserved. Their schedule was not too kind to them.
It was the hardest first week you could have possibly had. I mean, they went against NRG and Cloud9. They took NRG to 5 games, Cloud9 to 4. So it is probably one of the best performances you could do going against probably what everyone's predicting to be the top 2 teams. But having an 0-2 record of the first week doesn't feel good just on paper.
No, not at all. But they're going to look to try and bounce back from that this week, starting off with their 3rd match of the season against Rogue's First, as we start ourselves off on DFH Stadium. And already Matt looking for the backboard. Just trying to see if he can put some pressure forward. Going to see if we can see any double commits coming up from Rogue, or if not, the last 2 days has been enough for them to see, okay, this is a problem. We're going to get this sorted. Sizz already beat by Zane-Jackie. Off the side, left mid can take his time, looks to launch long. Something that we've been seeing a lot more so far this season is players holding themselves down the midfield, becoming target men for the long launch from defenders. Expect to see an awful lot of that from both of these teams, though. Insolence's touch is not great. Invites Matt to move forward, but instead he's become a target man for Jacob. Straight back over to the middle there for Sizz.
Sizz was a bit late, but he still made the best of it, able to put it high and towards the mid. So he had some time to be able to touch that one more time. Jacob getting back on defense.
Left mid, looking for the infield. There is absolutely nobody over there. Matt was right next to him, and Zane-Jackie, crucial interception from him, does not allow the counter-attack to move forward to the blue side. Tentative start so far. Both teams just trying to make sure that no mistakes are made. Remember, the nerves are there for both teams. The first game of the season for Rogue, and what must seem like a must-win now for Ghost, considering last week's troubles. Jacob and Insol just seem to be clattering into one another. As Matt gets up high, Sizz this time looking to try and get off the backboard. He's got Jacob to aim for. Jacob will put it down! What a goal to start us off in week 2!
I was watching it from his perspective as he went up for this, and even in my head, I'm like, there's no way. He's dropping that to Insol. He's going to drop it down to Insol, and he puts it on target instead. We've seen Jacob do this in the past, and it's been a while since we've seen him do what way Punk calls #Jacob things, but I think that qualifies.
That was a #Jacob things in all capital letters. What a way to start us off today. Less than 2 minutes in, Jacob already puts a big statement for possibly the best goal of this week. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are still yet to play, the challenge is down there. Jacob has definitely got number 1. Insol tries to get rid of it. Gonna go straight back over to Sizz, who can't get the second touch. Zane-Jackie over to Matt. More pressure coming through from Ghost, as Sizz wants to get rid of it yet again. Jacob has got quite a heavy touch on that. Very difficult to follow up, and now Zane-Jackie once again required to move forward. He's going to try and get a double, and he's already got it. Left mesh just needs to tap it in, and we're all tied up.
So Jacob actually went for Matt and net when they were pushing up, but then he was caught in their net for way too long. The double demolition, you don't see it very often. We saw a double pump in the plane that we were saying is something we'd never seen before. Even a double demo goal, we've rarely seen. Usually you don't really get to find your targets that consistently.
Almost seemed like he was forced to go for it as well. Zane-Jackie got the first one and just went, oh, I've still got pace, I've still got a guy in front of me. Yeah, might as well just go and hit another guy. Zane-Jackie couldn't quite drop it down the middle. Halfway done in this game, all tied up. 2 incredibly creative goals coming out from both teams so far. Let's see who can take game number 1. Sizz takes his time. Matt can move forward. Zane Jackie looking to try and bounce off the backboard. Gets double touch. This could be going down. Left mid, though, unable to get there before Insol. And now Jacob, his flick not quite good enough.
Him and Sizz will work together. Sizz up to Jacob. Lefmir to interrupt.
Almost got the second touch yet again. Just been a couple of inches away. Lovely infield. Insol not on target. Sizz gets beat. That could go the entire length. Just going to bounce off the post. Will not go in. Matt can't follow up in time. But that was dangerous from Sizz. He put all of his chips into that one basket and almost got caught for it.
After their previous showing earlier this week, Lefmir is actually just going to take that down. I don't know if they were out of boost. Try and take a look. They were all pretty low. The next best had 40, but he was far away. Yeah, neither had boost here. Sizz and Insolence. Insolences. I got to agree with Waypoint there. That is tough. Because the end of Insolence's name is Sizz.
Yes, it's multiple insoles.
There's so many insoles.
Zane Jackie would like to make it so many goals off the crossbar. Jacob already there. 90 seconds now, and despite the incredible goal that Jacob did score, Rogue find themselves trailing. Jacob wanted to try and take out Lefmir. Zane Jackie actually couldn't get to that ball. This is a big opportunity, but this time Zane Jackie able to play the hero, taking the ball away. Definitely seems like this rotation is almost based around where Zane Jackie is positioned. He is the first person to go for almost any ball. Now Jacob, off the poor touch, not on target. Ghosts need to start being more careful. That is a danger zone. If you do not create good enough contact with the ball there is an easy opportunity for people to come forward with an extra shot.
Jacob is a more boost up bump from Sizz into net. Two dedicating for this from Ghost.
Ghost are on the back foot. They've been on the back foot for a while, but still Rogue unable to put major defensive trouble in front of them. Now Zane Jackie taking his time. Flicks it up high. Insol. Keeps the ball loose. Here comes Matt. Still shut down. He just can't seem to find himself enough room to take the shot. Now 2v2. Jacob, though, and Sizz too close to each other. They really felt like they could have used more width. Maybe use the wall and try and find one another. But instead, Rogue still find themselves trailing. The double commit there from Ghost might offer some chances, but Matt's flick won't allow anything. And the demo as well. Going to make life even harder. 10 seconds remaining. Ghost still piling on the pressure. Ghost just have to hold on.
Well done by Matt to just shove that into the wall, stop it from bouncing out hard. And now it's going to be that much more difficult for Rogue to make anything out of this play.
Double commit. Probably won't matter too much, however. So the ball still needs to touch the floor. Sizz keeps it up. Has got targets. Touch not very good at all. Puts it over to Zane Jackie, who's just going to launch longer again. Ghost, just put the ball on the floor and you win, as it eventually will do so. 1-0 to Ghost.
Now that was much closer than I think everyone would have expected. You actually saw a lot coming out of Rogue that time as far as team plays and not a lot of double commits. I think Ghost would... It's very easy for them to come into this unassuming because of what just happened 2 days ago. It was a 3-0 sweep. The first match was close. It was a 1-goal match, and after that it was, I guess, qualified as a stomp, is what people could probably say. So they had a lot of confidence coming into this, maybe underestimating Rogue fairly, though, because, again, it's only been 2 days since they last met each other on the pitch. But now we see Rogue, the plays individually. We're seeing Jacob become Jacob again, which I think we all missed from several seasons ago. And also the passing plays, they're looking for each other. They're playing very, very quick. And the short passing plays always interrupting so the Ghost can't intercept the passes.
Absolutely. I mean, you said we got to try and look around for the double commits. They weren't quite there this time around. So that was much better overall from Rogue. But there's still little intricacies that I want to see them improve. The main thing right now is actually the ideas are there. They've got it in their head about what they need to do. And we've seen what can happen once they execute upon their ideas. That incredible first goal. The main problem has been execution so far, and not necessarily execution with the final products, but setting up. Just seems like whenever someone is required to put the ball forward, become the setup guy, the touch is always just too weak. And you're not going to do anything with that. You're waiting for the ball over on the opponent's side, and you just go, okay, it's like halfway. I can't do anything with that.
Just a couple of speed bumps, not to use a card term here, but every now and then when you see Rogue going up for something on attack, sometimes that third guy isn't always aware of how close or how far he should be. There were a couple moments where I saw the third guy so far back that he was stuck in a 2v3 or sorry, a 2v1 or 3v1 situation.
Almost a perfect start there from Rogue. Put the ball back over to the Ghost side. Jacob, touch, pretty loose, wants to go for it again. Insol went a little bit too early. If he was able to read Jacob going for a second touch, he might be able to hold himself back just a tiny little bit more. As Rogue looking to start off game number 2 exactly how they start off game number 1. Sizz trying to fly backwards, going to make this very difficult. So does Jacob. He's ended up missing. Insol with the flick up high, can be followed up by Sizz. Ghost are giving Rogue a lot of respect to start off this game. They are not challenging anywhere near as much as I've seen them over the past 2 days.
And Rogue seem to have taped down their boost button, playing incredibly fast early on in this game.
Launched long. Finally an opportunity for Ghost to put some pressure down on the orange side. Zanejacky taking his time, sees there's 2 players over in the corner. Can wait. Insol though, using the Batmobile. Lovely flick from him.
Jacob gets one more touchdown to Insol.
Zanejacky hasn't done too much with that. Sizz able to come out better, and now Lefmir and Sizz both chasing after the boost. I'm not entirely sure who got a hold of that. I assume maybe Sizz. Either way, Ghost done incredibly well to get away from this. Both teams happy just to leave one player to go for the dribble. We've seen it multiple times now. Just looking out to see what the players that are off ball are doing and whether or not they're getting themselves into good enough positions to be passed to, because so far, no one's really been aimed for too much.
Matt and Leathermere both have boost, but they will slowly lose it if they have to keep playing defense. Right now, only one of them is plus 40, but they've at least pushed it in their opponent's half to buy themselves some time to reset.
This is a game of possession so far. The majority of it going over to Rogue. Lefmir wants to give some to Ghost. Insol comes through quick, doesn't even allow the block. Big demo though, as Sizz can launch. Insol thinks better of moving forward because Lefmir is already there. Instead, going off the wall. Zanejacky's shot shouldn't trouble, however, and Sizz already around. This time gets himself a double tap. Him and Jacob double committing, but Jacob can try and look. Just too much to ask for, though, for him to get an infield pass. And we're coming towards halfway of this game played. No real opportunities created by either team.
No, I love the way Ghosts got out of their half, though. We see Leathermere smacking it pretty hard to the midfield, which is usually not great, but you have a player like Matt sitting in goal, waiting for the pass, and then you had Zanejacky, even the third, pushed up as the cherry pick. So all 3 of them confidently going from defense to offense within seconds.
Matt launches long. He already knows he's got nobody to aim for, so instead, just going to try and take as much boost as he possibly can. 2 blue players up, however, it won't matter too much as Sizz takes his time. Takes a little bit too much time as Matt comes through. His former teammate can take the ball, and now the orange team have got to keep this ball away from the net. It's been a role reversal. Ghost with their first major siege. Zanejacky's shot should have been much better than it was. Not going to trouble Jacob all too much. Sizz missing the ball in time. This is a sloppy game so far.
He forgot he had no boost. Jacob!
Oh, wow! Jacob, finally, with the cleanest double tap we could have possibly asked for, is going to put his team up by 1 goal.
This is his series to shine. Take a look at that. So clean. There's nothing else to say. I mean, that goal speaks for itself, Shogun.
It was phenomenal. And with 103 seconds remaining, Rogue need to hold on to this lead. Were unable to do it last time. Maybe found themselves a little bit too flat-footed with defense. And now Ghost want to see if they can press and prod and see if that mistake will happen again. The commit, not quite there. Jacob has to try and deal with Zanejacky and also an oncoming Matt. He's done well enough there to keep the ball not only away from his net, but moving back over to the blue side, but only momentarily. Jacob once again trying to break. Matt is already there. Sizz calling off Insol. Ghost need to keep this pressure going. 40 seconds already gone. Still 1 goal down. Insol ends up missing. Zanejacky can't quite beat Jacob clean enough. It's going to allow Sizz to move back, although Sizz, his rotations were a little bit weird there. And now suddenly Rogue are struggling so much on the defense. Insolences puts it off the backboard. Jacob, light touch from him, will not get away from Lefmir. 40 seconds now. And finally, Rogue are able to escape after what was a really, really tense situation for them.
Look at again how quick the passes are from Ghost, but this time Sizz not wanting to let his former teammate get that past him.
Big challenge there from Jacob. Every single time one of these challenges goes in the favor of Rogue, that is more time wasted. They get closer and closer to tying up this series, although that will get them closer than any defense ever could.
I am kind of surprised that no one went up for this. The moment that starts bouncing out in front of your net, somebody wants to. I think Leathermere was on the backboard and was really hoping he could find it. Matt had some boost, but I'm guessing one would called up the other one, and now 2 goals up.
They're probably going to do it here. Very little time remaining. It's been a sloppy game so far, but Rogue will be the beneficiaries of it. As we head into the final few seconds, Sis just flicking over the top of Jacob. If there's any other time, there might be more time to chastise them for that, but it will be a win. Going over, but will Ghost be able to pick themselves up a pity goal? They have managed to get a hold of it, so it's a little bit of momentum heading into game 3.
Would you call it pity goal momentum? I don't know if I'd call it pity goal momentum.
I mean, Left-Mid now knows he can hit the target. If he didn't know that yet, though.
If he didn't know that after, what, 5,000 hours of gameplay, I think he might be playing it a little bit wrong. But either way, Rogue are going to tie the series 1-1. They were 4-0, or I guess 0-4 against Ghost until just this game, so that's good news. They're able to get the victory, which has got to feel a little bit better. The shot differential, pretty similar, almost identical. You're going to see 7 shots for Rogue and 6 for Ghost Gaming. So overall, they played kind of even. You know, you said it yourself, a little bit sloppy. Yes. I think that's fair to say.
I think a lot of those shots there are like long shots from the halfway point. Like, they're shots, but are they really dangerous?
Yeah, I mean, they're either just too weak because they at least want to put it on target but don't have the time to make sure that it's going to be a nice bullet, or it's just off target and got a lot of speed. We saw that, I think, from what I saw, a little bit more on the Ghost side. There were a couple of shots that I think if they put on target, it would have been a tie game by the end of it, or maybe even in their favor. But Rogue, seriously pulling it up. We see Jacob bringing out old Jacob. I'm really loving seeing that he's getting confident on this roster. He's the newest addition to this roster as well. Him and Sis seeming to find their roles together, trying to work as a new duo.
Yes. I think, especially if you play with Jacob, when he switches on, you have to play a very different style with him because he's going to try and double tap it from the wall, off the backboard, into the middle. Very often, that's just what he tries to do. Once you start seeing that happen, you have to play a lot further back because you're now just saying to yourself, okay, it's not dropping in front of the net. It's coming out here to me.
Yeah.
I need to wait for that. Not only do you need to wait for it for the possibility that he's passing it to you, you also need to be there just in case it goes horrifically wrong, as with Jacob, kind of tends to do. So if the other team launches it, you need to be in position to defend as well.
And as a defender, right, how do you position yourself so quickly? We don't have a lot of time to make decisions, right? You want to stay close to net if you know it's going to come from the backboard, but you want to make sure that you're far out of net so that you can contest those nice wide passes to the midfield. So making that split-second decision gets very difficult, especially when you have to do it 6 times in a row.
Oh, Jacob wanted to try and pick up his 3rd of the series. Averaging a goal game so far. Also picking up vast majority of the offensive opportunities for Rogue. There's the pass out from Sis. This time Jacob finds himself too far forward, has to try and chase himself back. Left-Mid, lovely touch from him. Might have set up Matt, but every time. You can just see how frustrated Matt must be getting by now. He keeps being set up, but every time he goes up there, he is shut down by the Rogue defense, who are just clamoring to get in front of him.
And that was another double commit, so hopefully they're not going to be a little bit knocked off the rocker and kind of fall back to what we saw just a few days ago. They've been pretty good, I think, on the double commits. Really not a whole lot of detrimental ones so far this series.
Matt, first touch not great. Obviously trying to get it over to Left-Mid, but instead Jacob has just gone barreling forward, and Insol gets multiple touches for the goal.
And there you go, that teamwork. Sis up into the ceiling, knowing that nobody could challenge it. Insolences with the triple tap off the backboard. Jacob going for the goalie just to help secure it. Once you let Insol know that, just don't worry, just get it onto target. No one is challenging you.
Rogue go for the up high punch and low kick combo, and it ends up working out. Sweeping away.
Is that the technical term? Up high punch, low kick combo?
Yeah.
Doesn't really roll off the tongue.
It's not really great, but if you perform it, you tend to get goals. And that's all you really care about. Zane Jackie tries to escape Sis.
Nice challenge.
Oh, lovely use of that Batmobile. Gets the flick up. Now Jacob, has he got any options on the infield? He's got it set up, but Zane Jackie able to take advantage of the hesitation from Jacob, comes back and removes the threat from his defense. Seeing multiple attempts now at these infield passes. That's probably the 3rd one I've seen from either team that no one's been around to try and connect on. Lovely flick up there from Matt. Left-Mid has to take his time. He's got enough boost to try and set it up. Clear though from Sis. Only straight back over to the middle. Setup is from Matt this time. First time I think he's been able to get a clean touch, unable to put it on target.
He had no choice at that point. He just wanted to get it around Insolences. He didn't have an angle because he challenged that so quickly. So he honestly did the best he could, but he had no one to follow it up.
Insol, once again, key to clear. Matt looking for the set, Left-Mid. Just going to be forced to watch as Zane Jackie, his shot was very slow, but it actually was almost slow enough to catch out the defender. Remember, everyone on this pitch is so used to lightning bolt shots that if you just take your time a little bit, you can really catch them out, especially if they pre-jump. Lefmere. Straight back over to Sizz. Ghost having the better of the offensive possession, but the counter-attacking threat still there from Rogue. Lefmere with yet another long clear. Sizz and Jacob both barrel into it. Poor communication there. It should have been Jacob's with a much better angle on the ball.
Jacob staying up for the cherry pick, trying to help Sizz out, going for a bump actually.
Jacob, I think, has had enough success now with these slightly trickier plays that he's starting to feel confident about them, which could be dangerous to both teams, because once he starts getting out there and becoming a little bit more creative, he's very hard for both teams to read. We've heard his teammates previously say, look, they don't know what he's doing, we don't know what he's doing. Insult, unable to block that time. Sizz putting the ball up high. Zane Jackie forced to half rotate. This could be a big opportunity. Matt tries to get up there, but once again shut down.
Just an insult both went for, but Jacob, that was great by him to try and pinch it into the wall, buy his team time. The moment you see a double commit on your team, your next option is just help them. So, oh, Lethamir's going to sneak that in from the corner. You could have sworn a defender would have gotten there in time. Jacob sitting in corner. He had no boost left.
He's going backwards. He's got no boost. That is a double whammy of uh-oh SpaghettiOs.
Uh-oh SpaghettiOs.
Uh-oh SpaghettiOs. We need a new quick chat with that.
It's a little long. It would actually be a little distracting, I think.
Just immediately, as soon as you put it, you're not allowed to post anything else.
Disable chat like immediately just after the first one?
Absolutely. Matt trying to put it long once again. This game has started by Rogue taking a lead, and then the rest of it has just been characterized by Ghost trying to find a way back in. Lovely passing play. Insolence is shot, not good enough, but Jacob's follow-up will be picking up his third of the series.
Who saved this? Was that Matt?
It was Matt. Pre-jump boy.
God, that is such a difficult thing, and that's got to feel so bad to make such a cool save. To have Jacob there to just push it in anyways. Rogue will take the lead.
Matt will always pre-jump. If there's anything you know that Matt is going to do, he is already jumping up in the air for better or for worse. That time, it was for better, and then it quickly became for worse. Was unable to control the ball enough. Shot from Insult could definitely have been better, though. Goes directly into the body of the car. Still, works out well enough. 2-1, the lead reinstated now. Zane Jackie does well enough. Sizz, good control there from him, able to half flip and control the ball.
Physical plays as well. Rogue always looking for that goalie the moment they've got even just a hood of their card pointed towards the net at all. They just figured, hey, let's go for it. Even if you just make them think about it, they have to hesitate.
Insult off the backboard. Zane Jackie gonna leave it for Lefmere. The final opportunity now for Ghost might go awry. They still can't control. Zane Jackie's touch, not great. Ghost, in the time that they need to set up their own play, have not been able to even control the ball, and that will give game number 3 over to Rogue.
Rogue now on game point, which is a surprising turnout, I think, for all of us.
Absolutely.
But they fixed the one thing that we saw that just crippled them so hard 2 days ago, and that is double commits. We've seen a couple still, but to be fair, we've seen them from both sides of the pitch. But it's never in a situation where they've just completely fallen apart, and they know they're both the last man, and like, go for it.
Yes.
That hasn't happened yet. They have kept their cool, even when they do go for double commits, but Insolence is with 5 shots. He's been a massive striker for them, putting things on target, making so many things a threat. Jacob being creative again, and Sid's really just trying to help facilitate his team.
And my major question here is, Ghost, what is happening in like the first half of this game so far? Because they just seem to switch off. They go on offense, and then they just go, oh, okay, there's no way Rogue could possibly... I mean, we've beat them so many times. How could they possibly put something forward? Immediately caught on the counter-attack every single time. They're just giving Rogue that one opportunity, and Rogue are capitalizing on it, and the rest of the game, they're forced to play catch-up. It's not good enough from them so far.
And it feels like Ghost is being creative in defense, especially to get it out and to gain control. But once they actually push it into Rogue's half, that's usually when I feel like they're losing a lot of that thought process. They're kind of just putting it on target or just putting it down into the middle. They're not always trying to scan the field, see where defenders are, see where your teammates are. What is the best place for me to put this to seriously make it incredibly difficult? You said it before, Matt has to be getting so frustrated. Shot after shot that he's put on target. Beautifully on target, might I add. There's someone from Rogue that's always there, which means there's just a little bit of a timing difference. If they'd fix that up, they would be able to just clear it past their defense.
Almost a couple of infield passes would be loved to have been seen by now. Jacob jumped up, didn't have the boost, but there we go to start us off. Rogue will take the lead again.
What on earth happened here? Insolence is with a flick, Jacob baiting it out, and then Leftimere, I think, getting bumped by Insol, and then Insol even scoring. Was that seriously like, what is that equivalent of Rocket League? Like a triple, double, single? I don't even know what that is.
It's a big, bad play.
He passed it to himself, he got a bump, and then he scored. That's insane.
Insol and the rest of Rogue able to take the lead once again. Now they need to try and keep it going. Plenty of this match left to play, but this would be a huge win for Rogue to start off their season. Able to put Thursday behind them and start off this season in the best way possible. Jacob doesn't have enough boost. Now he doesn't have enough car. Leftimere with the shot. Just launched away, but Matt off the backboard looks for the double tap. We usually see people trying to set up Matt, but I wouldn't be surprised if he just gets to the point of being so frustrated that he tries to set himself up. Leftimere can't quite get there. Huge opportunity for Ghost. They're going to have to watch as the ball is attempted to be cleared. They're keeping the pressure going. But once again, they're continuing to look for the backboards. They've done this now for 3 games straight. It's not working well enough. And once again, they know where it's coming from. Do something different.
It almost feels like that third man's just dropping back a little bit too hard to play it safe. I know, you know, they definitely suffered from counterattacks, but now it's to the point where they're getting that one shot on target. Oh my.
That was definitely something different there. Looking for the coast-to-coast team play. Insol won't be able to get there, but Jacob taking the ball for himself. Trying to get off the backboard. Leftimere can't get it past Insolences. Sis just wants to get it past Matt. Now Zanejackie can find Matt, who wants to try and center it. Not quite powerful enough, however. Zanejackie up yet again. Jacob just past one. Matt's touch. It's going to allow Sis to move himself back in. Seems like Ghosts are trying to get their foot back down on the pedal this game. This might be an opportunity for them. Matt, Leftimere was pre-jumping that one a long time ago. A huge mistake. Sis, how much boost does he have? He tries to go for a pass play for an insolent Sis, who is going for a demo. Communication breaks down. Jacob ends up missing. Sis can barrel forward. 2 goals! And Rogue are thoroughly in control.
Zanejackie thought he had this. He had the boost. He jumped up for it, but it hit that spot in the corner. The nightmare spot for any defender. It bounced straight up, perfectly arced in front of the net. And Sis will be there to help seal the deal for his team. Shogun, as far as Ghost is concerned, I feel almost like they're not challenging the ball when they're on offense, almost sometimes just for the sake of challenging. Sometimes I feel like just go for it. Slow them down, don't let them clear, but they're just sitting on the ground and watching.
It has been very much a goal now. Not how we're going to get the goal, just get us a goal as quickly as we can possibly get it. And that's what's cost them here. That's what's put them from a dire situation into a catastrophic situation. It could get worse still. And let's not understate what this would mean to Ghost's season. They were 0-2 coming into this week, and we all chalked it down to, yeah, they had a terrible schedule. 0-3 would pretty much put to bed any hopes they would have of a top 2 finish. Big shot there from Matt. Finally finds himself some room, and there is hope for Ghost.
Just noticing that Ghost also going for the bumps. Sis unable to make that Insol. I don't know if he had a lot of boost. He was challenging up, trying to push up with his team, thinking that Sis would at least get some kind of contact on that. Because even if it just went even 3/4 of that distance, Insolences would have had more time to react.
There's been a lot of attempts to predict the game so far from both teams. Launching themselves early, trying to see if they can get there before the ball has even been played. Most of the time it hasn't worked out so far. Leftimere launches long. Sis will be on the backboard. Good touch from him. Straight over to Insol, who was playing as the target man. Might get overstripes Jacob. 100 seconds left now. Jacob and Sis both in the corner, but Jacob able to control. Matt forced to tip it up high, but boost steals from Jacob are going to make life really difficult for Ghost. Jacob. Wow, this could be going straight back over. Lovely 1-2s. Now Insolences gets himself involved in the plate. Go for the double tap. Puts it straight down on Leftimere. He'll be thankful that the touch wasn't too powerful, but still Rogue pounding away at the defense, looking to try and find a way to reopen their 2-goal lead.
But you can see Ghost even at midfield now trying to get the bumps. If they can get a nice long shot like they did earlier, just get this tied up, try and bring it to overtime, they might be able to reset. But the panic defense, well, I don't want to say panic, but the very quick defense that Ghost are needing to play right now is eventually going to wear on them.
Oh, there's the shot from Jacob, and that could completely tie this this series up.
Getting overwhelmed in this angle from Jacob and the pace he was able to. You're talking about how sometimes these shots just aren't on pace, and this was plenty enough, perfectly into the corner, that it's going to be Jacob's second shot and first goal.
I just looked over and I just saw James mouth the word wow. And
wow.
What a result this would be if the lead can be held on to. It doesn't matter what happens outside. If you can step up when the RLCS is being played, you will get results for it. Jacob trying to avoid Ghost players trying to pound away at him. Sizz pushes the ball into the corner. We're now 30 seconds away here. Lefmir's touch. Puts it up high. Double commit.
2 going.
Matt's touch, though, puts it straight back over to Sizz, already waiting over in the middle. It's been a major problem of Ghosts. No target people over in the middle, and every time they touch the ball in defense, it's straight back into an awaiting Rogue player. 10 seconds now. They need to score, and they need to score now before they can even get a shot off the kickoff. It's going to look like it's going to be incredible. Difficult for them to pull off, however. Jacob puts the ball straight down, and Rogue will pull it off. They are 1-0 for the season.